Okay, so what's up YouTube? It's Curlysa Victoria. I'm back with another video. If you guys are new to my channel, thanks for tuning in. If you've already been subscribed, thanks for coming back. So in this video, I'm actually going to be doing a quick little video here because your girl took a bath. I took a shower as well, but it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I am so stinking tired. But I'm making this video just because I'm up writing out my goals, working on a few things. I'm going to be up probably for the next 20 to 30 minutes. Like, I am so tired. Like, my whole weekend is just like, my calendar is filled up. So I just feel like I haven't been able to actually have breaks of really breaking because there's been something occupying my time like every moment. So I'm pretty much going to work on these goals, but I'm just sitting up thinking about how I need to get to my goals and want to get to my goals. And I'm also thinking about how physically tired I am. Not, excuse me. And I'm not referring to physical tiredness or fatigue for tonight. I'm talking about just long-term tired right now. Ever since I've graduated from high school, not even a week later, I was off to college. I did school year-round in undergrad. I later pursued my master's in business. I'm pursuing my master's of arts in law right now. I worked, did internships, always hustled. And now I'm looking back and I'm just thinking about how I never truly, really had a break, like to rest of no sort. I feel like when you're always hustling and you're always such a busy person, or you're just trying to become a better version of yourself, you don't rest enough. And I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking about it, and I'm noticing how my days are full. I'm noticing how my calendar keeps filling up. I don't know if it's how tired I am. I'm just on go, 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 go. And I literally have debated with myself, it's kind of hard to tell an independent person to slow down. And I don't know how to like kind of word this, because it's like I still have the ability to keep going hard, but I have to physically and mentally tell myself slow down. Um Literally just take time for yourself. So I'm not going to stop doing what I've been doing, but I'm going to be I'm going to be more, take that little bit part away. I'm going to be less accessible to the general public, like heavy. Literally, what's on my calendar for the rest of the year is what I'm going to be fulfilling. If it's not on my calendar, or we have not talked about it hitting my calendar, because there are some things right now that are pending as far as dates, but I already have spoken to people, business opportunities, friends, and we already know that this series of events or these things are supposed to take place. The dates might not be finalized, but we have already finalized the fact that they're going to be done. I'm following up with all of those appointments by the end of the year. Anything outside of business and personal endeavors that have already been talked about is not being fulfilled. So sis, if you're getting married, or you got an event that's taking place and you tell me, oh, I have an event taking place December 3rd, I'm not coming. I have to spend the rest of the year dedicated to Curlysa Victoria. I give so much of my time and energy to other people, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm about community service and I'm a giver. However, if you, I'm speaking to y'all, I'm speaking to myself. If you or me, if we do not take the time for ourselves to develop the regimen of rest, to develop the self-care routines, to develop more time to ourselves, our selfish moments when we need them, and we're always here for everybody else, we're going to suffer in the long run. And when I say suffer, this does not refer to monetary. I think a lot of times, I was having this conversation recently. A lot of people measure things by dollar. Time is something you can't get back. And you have to understand that if you go so long, keep putting your time into things that are going to keep taking, never even taking the opportunity to give or to even reciprocate the energy that you're giving to that person or to that entity, then you're going to suffer because they're gaining, you're losing. I've had to cut off people in my life, not because I don't care for them. Like, I could truly love you, but I have to cut you off. Or I could truly care about you, but I have to cut you off. If you are dead weight or you're not adding to me and I'm making everything work, I'm putting in the effort, I'm doing this and that, you're not adding to me. I'm adding to you. At that present time or at that moment, you are subtracting from me. So if you're subtracting from me, eventually subtraction is going to put you into the negatives, which is ultimately when you look at it metaphorically, that place of being placed in a negative category is basically you digressing in your future, digressing in the things in which you're supposed to be doing. So with all that said, I'm sitting here, I'm writing out goals, I'm digressing from a lot of things, from people, entities, things. At this moment in my life, guys, I just acquire peace. I just want good vibes. I just want positive energy. And I can express to you, I have experienced a lot in my short years of living. Enough to break a person down to, not even want to be in this world. So for God to even give me the strength and the courage to continue on despite, my life story, that's huge. That tells me that there's purpose and that there's passion and there's all of that is here for me. Like, if I were supposed to be gone, if God was not supposed to spare my life, then I wouldn't be here. Like, if I was supposed to be gone, I would be gone. But because I'm here, that means there's still I wanted to say purpose and passion, but there's still purpose. There's still room for me to be my better version of myself. Sometimes I didn't know that I was going to make this video, and I guess sometimes that's when the best videos are made. I realized in my life that there's people in your life, no matter how you meet them, to what capacity you know them, they have it in their mind that you're this person that they want you to be. They don't understand the person who you genuinely are because they have this idea in their mind that you should be or you are this. That's a crazy space to be in because sometimes you have to cut people off for not seeing you for who you are, no matter what capacity you know them. And I've always felt like, because I know my story, because I know what I've been through in my life, sometimes certain goals that people wouldn't even consider are my goals because I know my life. Like going to college, for example. That wasn't something, huge in my family. Everybody didn't go to college. I'm not saying you need to go to college to be successful. But I know that, like, my immediate, like, my mom, my dad, they were not college graduates and things like that. That was something that was a huge milestone for me. And then also educating myself further has just always been something that I've been interested in is to educate myself, to invest in myself. I've always believed in investing in myself and becoming better. So that was always a reason behind education as well. I never thought that getting a fancy job or anything like that, I never thought that college would get me, the dream job of my life to where I would make buku dollars. Like, I've always believed that if I wanted to be successful and make money, or, like in the business world, it was going to come from what I had to offer. You can have a piece of paper all day long, but if you don't know, like if you yourself are not an asset, or you yourself can't, I don't want to misconstrue my own words, but it's how you perform in other words. That piece of paper doesn't do anything for you. Yeah, it may open the doors. Yeah, it might get you a seat at the table, but it won't keep you there. So I've always believed that my greatest asset was myself. My greatest investment would be me. I tell this story sometimes to where I had gotten to college and I had gotten into honors college, and the assistant to the director basically said I could handwrite, like in pen, my application. So I did. When it got back to the director to turn in my application, she said, "This can't be written. This needs to be typed." I kid you not, I got on a computer. I typed. Every single time I typed, it auto-deleted my work. She told me, "You have until 5 o'clock to get this in." I did not leave that honors college until I got that paper in. Even though my work might have gotten deleted over 10 times of me retyping the application, I asked if they had a typewriter. I seen one in the room, actually. I don't think I asked. I seen it in the room, and I asked if it worked, and it worked. And your girl was on the typewriter trying to type up her application. And God rest her soul, because she passed away. But the honors college director said, I've seen a lot of, people who were determined, but you're one of the few people, if any, that I've ever met this tenacious to do something. And she basically said, I'm going to go far in life and blase, blase, but she seen that my work was denied from a piece of paper, from writing out my application. Then she goes on to see that my work is auto-deleted multiple times. Then she goes to see that I never left that office until 5 o'clock when I did my best to actually typewrite. Mind you, I had not used a typewriter ever in my life before. So at that moment when I'm typewriting this paper, here we are, literally, we're in 2000s. This had to be 2011, 12. Here we are in the 2000s where computers are, a prominent thing. And here you have your girl, MacBooks and all that was out. You have your girl here typing a whole paper on a typewriter. So I say all that to say this. I'm not like everybody else. I'm different. And I know other people feel this way. I know other people, say these things. But the reason why I do what I do is not for the same reasons as I had so many people I went to college with who they became lawyers, or they became doctors, or they became pharmacists, or they became all of these fancy positions because their parents were already that, or their parents, inspired them to do so, or since they were toddlers, they were already wearing, their paraphernalia for their college, or they were wearing their, colors and t-shirts for their sororities and Pampers. That was not my situation. I just wanted to make it to college and to successfully graduate and to successfully be something. If I could just do something and be something, that right there was more than anyone ever knew. There's some people who it was already destined for them. When they were 3 and 4, their parents had already said, we're going to make sure that they become everything they're going to become. But they had their parents. I'm not saying that, obviously I grew up with my family too, but because I have experienced so much in my life, my outlook, my perspective matured faster. My perspective is different from your average Joe. So I just feel like I'm a type of person who I could have fun around a crowd, but I much rather be alone. And I rather just keep to myself, and I rather just, I can really, really be a jokester. I can really have fun. But in the end of the day, if you asked me, do you want to be around people all day? The answer is no. It's not a depressive thing. It's just I just keep to myself. I just rather that. I don't like to be around people too long, you know. That's why I think living alone too, that's just an awesome thing too, because you're allowed to have people over when you want, but then also you know that they leave as well, so you get your space back. So I just feel like as I get older, peace, space, and just positive energy and vibes is all I'm trying to acquire. Yes, you might see me with my fashion, my designer, but when you can't get back people, you know, you suffer major losses in your life that you are never going to get back, you realize early on that not one material possession will ever equate to or come close to the losses that you suffered, either in silence or even maybe in public or out loud, whatever losses, you know. And I think that I've lost some of the greatest people and things in my life that no matter how successful I become, my happiness will never be with money. My happiness will never be. You have people who become successful and they have this falsified happiness because of, oh, they're making money, or oh, they're this, or oh, they're that. Like, yeah, you want to be successful. Making money is a thing that has to happen because it's a part of the world in which we live in. But when you realize that is more to life than the material possessions, and you lose those things, you see life through a whole different lens. So where I'm at, where I stand, and what I do is going to be for the benefit and the betterment of Cralisa Victoria. I don't care who you are, how I know you, and how long I knew you. If you don't fit my life anymore, I have no problem cutting you off. And if you can't understand what I'm saying, or I feel like you push me to be what you want me to be, just know you're going to get cut off. No animosity, no hatred, no anything. It's just at this time in my life, peace is what I'm acquiring. And anything that agitates the level of peace or causes stress or does anything that's not edifying, it's going to be cut off. So I wanted to make this video to let you guys know, if you don't see me on some of my platforms, which will be mainly my main social media, it's because I'm getting my life. I'll more than likely still be on YouTube. I'll probably be on my business pages, but chances are I'm going to be ghost town. If it's not about the business, then it's really like you're barely going to be seeing me, because your girl has goals and I have no time to be trying to be an Instagram or like all these different social media. I'm not trying to be on there flexing. I'm trying to really behind the scenes be having things going on. So obviously social media is a great platform for business and also keeping networks with the people who support your businesses. But in the end of the day, life is not like ran by social media. So I a lot of times take breaks. I don't like to be entangled. Jada and Will, I'm actually using entangled for a different situation here. I don't like to be, entangled in that falsified belief system, that everything you see on social media is how people are really living. I've never been a person who had a fantasy world of falsification. I've always just been real, and I've always just been myself. Like, I don't need to pretend to be anything that I'm not. I don't need to do the things that just makes me look better when they're not even really what's up. I'm just real. I'm too real for that. And the thing is, when you lie or you make up these lifestyles that y'all quote unquote have, you got to remember the lie. You got to remember the lifestyle hack. All of these things, you got to remember them, because when you lie and you do stuff like that, you got to keep it going. So you got to keep a storyline going. But if you just be real, you don't ever have to keep anything going. You don't have to ever remember anything to that capacity, because you're going to be so real that it's all going to just always make sense. It's always going to align. So I'm done with this video. I know it went a little bit longer. I hope I get to post it, because a lot of times I don't post my, rants. I actually end up deleting them, but I hope somebody could have obtained something from this video tonight. I need to get some work done because I am about to fall asleep, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.
It's only 11 something, but why does it feel like it's 2